And the best wishes goes to the bride and groom. Wedding ceremony is organized in the best day according to horoscope, and the best wishes goes to the young couple. Please give some good words of praise to the young people.
Хөвчин дэлхий уудан боловч мөрөн далаагаар холбоотой гэж хүмүүн заяатан олон боловч зүрх сэтгэлээрээ холбоотой гэж ах トゥ бололцсон ураг өрөлддөг нь алс эртний ёсон билээ. Хөх Монгол дон заяагаар
for increasing the number of relatives, and then the wishes are for having no any obstacles in the future life, and for having long lives as a couple, and making some prominent deeds in your future life. The best wishes. Father of the wife would say, protect my daughter. Mother would say that let your life to be full of happiness and smile and love. People are enjoying the wedding ceremony. Distinguished participants of the Naadam Festival, this rainy day of 11th July, and we have been watching how the fairy tale hero Borolta, the boy Borolta with his treasury horse, has been entering the stadium. And this is to support our festivities. This fairy tale boy Borolta has been carrying with Soyombo, with letter Soyombo, and he has been greeting the participants of Naadam. Mongolians always wish that the fairy tales will become true, and the Naadam Festival is one of the illustrations how people have been enjoying their lives. Let us have joy and happiness of Naadam Festival. Naadam Festival is a unique celebration where everything smells like a Naadam. During Naadam Festival, people make wrestling contests, archery, and horse race. From ancient times, we had strong wrestlers. In modern time, we have been watching how young people are becoming grown up and becoming stronger like wrestlers. Under the July rain, we can watch the process of Mongolian Naadam, which is a unique celebration. We can watch how horse racing is organized during Naadam Festival. We're ready to start the horses to run. Distinguished Naadam watchers, you can see how the young horses have been running, especially the young horses are running to their mothers, towards their mothers. This is how Mongolian Naadam is organized. Everybody in the country are touched with the Naadam, with the horse race. So we have also the last horse during the horse race. The last horse during this year Naadam will be the winner of the next year Naadam. This is the way how we celebrate the Naadam. We also have archery as a part of our Naadam, and our shooters are skillful enough to hit all the targets. Our Mongolia is a country of Naadam, and we are proud of being a part of this country. Wrestlers have been showing their strength during Naadam Festival, so we are now greeting wrestlers. Distinguished Naadam participants, we are starting the first round of wrestling championship. Wrestlers have come from all over the country, and they look like hawks and eagles. Mongolian Naadam starts with wrestling, and it is an important part of our festivities. Mongolians organizes Naadam, which make people to be happy with the victories of our athletes. Distinguished Naadam people, today we have the two wrestlers who will now compete for the first place. Let us wish success to the two wrestlers who are now competing for the prize. They look so powerful and of high spirit. They look like elephants and lions, the titles in Mongolian wrestling. The people of the country have been wishing the best to own wrestlers. Now we can see who was the winner. Congratulations to the winner. This is how we celebrate Naadam with 3 games. The Naadam is an important element of our history and also of modern lives. All over the country we have started Naadam and celebrating this festival. That's why we need to be proud of our traditions, of being a Mongolian person. Distinguished Naadam viewers, we are starting our Naadam festival with this celebration, and we also during Naadam festival welcome and greet our renowned athletes, sports people like Miss Tirma, a prominent sports person. You can watch how to the stadium. We will see the entrance of prominent horse that belonged to Mr. Naranko parliamentarian. That horse won 6 times the Naadam horse race. Also, we would like to greet Mongolian honored sportsman Tirma, who was the trainer of many winning horses. And then you can see the horse from Dundgobiaimak that belongs to Mr. Naranko, who won 6 times the Naadam horse race. Distinguished Naadam participants, we have been celebrating the Naadam together with our champions, wrestlers. Here you can greet the prominent athletes, honored hero of labor and honored sportsman Mr. Baimu has been heading the parade by a group of wrestlers, prominent wrestlers. Congratulations to our champions. We are continuing our Naadam with peace and happiness. You can see the prominent wrestlers who made a lot of victories during our Naadam festival. During Naadam festival, people meet each other and exchange the views, news, and this is the way of strengthening the friendship and collaboration all over the country. During Naadam festival, we organize the contests where the best athletes will win, but all others also contribute to the Naadam festival. In 1950s, land cultivation campaign organized in our country for crop production purposes. During previous 500 years in the humankind history, there were 5 revolutions. 2 of the revolutions were connected to technologies, the rest were connected to industrialization. The history of railway started from 1930s. In 1930, there was one small railroad built between Ulaanbaatar and Naadam coal mine. The road was used for bringing coal to the city. Later, in 1950s, we had the crop production sector developed rapidly, and then in Ulaanbaatar city, many industries have been developed in the 20th century. The capital city was built with the strength and contribution of many people. Mongolians used to be nomads. By using horse and camel, they were moving from one place to another. Now the Mongolians have been using railroad, airplanes, the ships on the seas, and then we are communicating now with the rest of the world through all those means. Also, in the 20th century, we had development of education and culture sector, especially establishment of the modern theater and movie sector was an important step in our arts and culture. The first Mongolian movie was made in 1935. During the 20th century, a lot of women started working for industries, became drivers of heavy machines, and they were contributing to the economic and cultural developments in the country. The Central Theatre was the first theatre established in our country. Afterward, we had opera and ballet theatre, youth theatre, and other theatres. Mongolian independence and sovereignty was celebrated during the time of Bogdahan. And so in 1913, on the 13th August of 1913, the Janrasik monastery got opened with the Janrasik statue in it. One of the Mongolian beautiful landscape is Khuvsku Lake. On Khuvsku Lake, we have a ship called Sukbatr ship, which has still been helping the people to travel on the lake. In the 20th century, Mongolia made a lot of achievements in literacy, and Mongolian National University of Mongolia was one of the prominent institutions for education sector development. The people's government established in the 20th century also paid attention on construction sector. Another important sector was energy, power sector. Where we have electricity, at that place we can build other industries. And so, beginning of our electrification energy sector was a good opportunity for develop other sectors of economy. Nowadays, Oyu Tolga company that employs thousands of people have been using the advanced world-class technologies, and the company has been producing copper. The effectiveness of this project is an important contribution to Mongolia's economy these days. Mongolians were building its civilization, and there was a trade made with Europe and the rest of the world, and that trade happened through the Silk Road. And that was the time where the exchange of cultures were happening through that trade road. The achievements of Asian continent were brought to Europe and vice versa. And the Silk Road was an opportunity for the two worlds to meet each other. This was the road to make Asia to be closer to Europe, also to make Asia to get the achievements of European culture. So this was a Silk Road, that is a road on the that can be called like a Sky Road, and that was the road that was of historic importance. This Silk Road was later followed by a Tea Road. Tea Road was another route to link Asia and Europe together, and those roads were to strengthen the relationship of the people in this world. The Tea Road was a road for bringing the people for making the people to be closer to each other, and this was a road not to be used for wars and invasion. It was a road for trade and for exchange of goods, and so such a road will never to be ended. This Silk Road that linked Asia and Europe was a road where camel played a significant role in bringing the goods from one place to another, and this was the road that is now being continued with the trade relations among the countries of Asia and Europe. Mongolians have a tradition of being nomads, and we have been bringing from previous century to the new century our elements of history and traditions and culture, and we have been moving to the future by bringing all the heritage of arts, culture, and other material achievements. So the Silk Road was to strengthen the power of Mongolians as being the nomadic people. During the Silk Road, during Mongolian Great Empire, Mongolian warriors were protecting the movement along the Silk Road. That was a contribution for the exchanges between the continents by Mongolians. Those protection military troops were holding green flags, and so such a peacekeeping tradition was from the ancient times in Mongolia. Mongolian warriors, after the invasion to the other countries, established the great empire, and along the Silk Road there were a lot of trade exchanges under the rules of the Mongolian Empire. Even these days, through trade connections, the countries have been linked to each other. Mongolians have this song that is based on the poem called My Native Land. And this poem talks about the highlights of the country, like the mountains, the forests, the beauty of the north, and Gobi has been mentioned in this song. And the song, this poem was written by Naadam, the prominent writer of early 20th century. And this song mentions about the rivers, lakes, and the most important areas of the country. Mongolia is a country of skilled people like poet Naadam. This song would connect our country with the universe. And this song is the good piece of praise for the country's beauty. We have in our country the mountain called Shilimbok, which is a volcano type of mountain. It is in the eastern part of the country, and it is highest peak in Sukbataraimak. This extinct volcano is sacred by many Mongolians, and we think that the spirit of any man who climbs to the top of the mountain, especially at sunrise time, will be revived. So Mongolian families, mothers, fathers, and children are the people who have been preserving the culture of the country. And at Shilimbog Mountain, the men would take this oath, and this is to restore the sense of Earth's immensity and also to feel better your place in this world. Mongolians, especially Mongolian warriors, have been protecting the country's boundaries, and we have the traditions and heritage that lasted for many thousands of years. And the people of these days have been inherited with such a beautiful land, and we have a duty to continue preservation of our traditions to the next generations. The homeland is a place where you can return anytime. The homeland will be welcoming the sons and daughters all the times. So we need to devote our love and affection towards our homeland. Homeland is the place where our future generation will live, and in our homeland eternally we can watch the Naadam festival, we can watch how the archery contest is organized, how horse racing is made, how our wrestlers compete with each other. The country of Mongolia looks like a piece of gold under the sunshine. And we have Shilimbog Mountain where people will climb on and make their spirits revived. Shilimbog is a mountain located in the eastern part of the country where we can watch sunrise. And the feeling for loving own homeland starts with the family, with the love of parents and children. The mountain of Shilimbok is a symbol for making the country to live forever and to make the country to prosper. Mongolia is a country where people can enjoy their lives. Mongolia is a country where the plants and trees can grow further. Mongolia is a country where our flags and banners will get risen. Mongolia is a country where mothers take care of their children, fathers take care of children, and then the children will take care of their parents. And then we have affections, good affections between relatives, brothers, sisters. Mongolia is a country of white gears, and the gears, a full gear, would mean that when people are in gear, this is the way of how families could survive for and country where the ties among the relatives, the parents and children are the strongest. This is a country where parents would inherit the land to the future generation. Also, this is the country where the elderly people will teach the young generation about how to live in such a nomadic conditions. The country's borders are peaceful and calm. The country stretches between the Gobi in the south to the taiga in the north. The country stretches from the eastern steppe to the Altai Mountains in the west. In this country, ancestors were taking care of every stone, rocks in its territory, and people sacrificed their lives for the well-being of the next generation. And nowadays, country of Mongolia is peaceful and calm. When Mongolian ethnic groups got together, it made the creation of the country of Mongolia to be a reality. Mongolia is a country of 21 ethnic minority groups, and Mongolia is a unique and rich country. At the time of unity, Mongolians were so powerful. When Mongolians got together, they will make the country even more powerful. When Mongolians will make joint efforts, that will make the country to prosper in the future. Let Mongolia to live forever, eternally. With the Mongolian tribes that got powerful when they get united, with the people who would contribute much to own country's development, with the ethnic groups that make Mongolia to be so rich, the country will last forever. Here we can greet the parade where the emergency management office staff is entering the stadium.
сайхан нутаг хааж үгүй. Эсэлөө хайрлах шүтэн үгүй. Их орноос сайхан нутаг хааж үгүй.
We are celebrating the 2227th anniversary of the statehood, 812th anniversary of Great Mongol Empire, 97th anniversary of People's Revolution, and we are now starting the parade where the groups representing different sectors and organizations have been entering into the stadium. We can see here the people from military, from sector of education, health sector, medical doctors from hospital number 1 have been participating in this parade. Also, we can greet the group representing railway people from Ulaanbaatar Railway Company. Railway Company have been showing a lot of growth in their operations. For instance, they made the transportation of more than 22 million tons of goods to be transported through the Mongolian Railway last year. Also, we can greet the group from a company called Tessa Company. This company is a producer of food and other products. Tessa Corporation consists of 14 companies, and they employ 1,200 people, and they have been producing many new brand products. Also, we have in our country a new cement making factory that has been using an internationally proven technology. So Mon Cement Company workers have been also greeting us. Another group is from State Bank. State Bank has more than 800 workers, and some of their representatives have been greeting the audience at Naadam. State Bank group consists of people who showed some good results during the sports contests. Also, the Naadam of Friendship Children's Camp employees have been participating in this parade, and they have been celebrating the anniversary of the camp. This International Children's Camp has been celebrating 40th anniversary, and they have been organizing also some festivities with arts and culture performances of children. Another group of participants of the parade are from Golomb Bank. Golomb Bank is a bank providing a variety of services, financial services to the people of the country. Another group is the Holmes University, representing the higher education sector of the country. That university has been training specialists in many professions. They have faculty members who are skillful and knowledgeable, and they have been leading the other universities in terms of the employment rates of their graduates. The flag of that university, the Holmes University, has been held by Otundala, who is a bronze winner from Olympics in boxing. Distinguished Naadam participants, we have been celebrating Naadam Festival, and Mongolian national broadcaster that has more than 50 years history has been pleased to deliver to you this live broadcasting, and our group, representatives of national broadcasting, has been also participating in the parade. Another university has also sent off a group of students, and they are celebrating the 20th anniversary. This is Mongolian National University. Another representative group is from Baganur Company, the coal mine, and they produce coal to supply 60% of coal demands in the country. Baganur has been celebrating the 40th anniversary this year. Also, one of the top taxpayer company in Mongolia that works in heavy machinery, and this is Wagner Asia Group company that brings the advanced equipment to Mongolia. Another company represented here is called Tashvanjit, and they supply natural gas through the stations established all over the country. Also, we have here the Mongolian Football Federation representatives. So, Naadam opening ceremony is being finished with the parade from the where the representatives of companies and institutions have come to greet the audience in the stadium. This Naadam festival was produced under the leadership of Mr. Naram from the National Drama Theatre, and then the general producer was Mr. Tsokgrel. Then Otumbat was one of the line producers. The main choreographer of this ceremony was Mr. Kang Ochur. The general manager of the event was the People's Artist title holder, Mr. Tsirindaok. The author of the ceremony is Tsognemich. Otumbayar was the main composer of the ceremony. And through Mongolian National Broadcasting, we have been delivering the opening ceremony of Naadam Festival to the people all over the country. So, during this parade, we can see the many companies that were contributing to the country's economy, like Golomb Bank Group has been greeting the audience. Mongolian national broadcaster has been organizing today's program where the stations, mobile stations, are located in 3 different places, and we have been delivering the shows from Huitotonghutak area where we have the horse racing. Then from the national stadium you can watch the wrestling competition, and then from another station at archery station you can see the live shows. Now here you can see the group representing University of Zahomch. And then other companies who were contributing a lot to the country's economy have been participating in this procession. Naadam is a important piece of value of Mongolian culture. Besides the 3 main sports games, during Naadam festival we can see the achievements in other areas of our lives. And Naadam is celebrated all over the country. So we have been continuing our Naadam festival. Today we have been celebrating Naadam, and Naadam is a time where we can see a lot that will illustrate our culture, and people wait for the whole year to celebrate the next Naadam, and this is the day of national pride. Our national broadcaster has 50 years history, and the participants of the parade, some of them are representing our national broadcaster. During the 50 years history of Mongolian National Radio and TV, we have made a lot of programs that were enjoyed by our people. We produce daily news. We also produce some drama, TV drama, movies, and then we broadcast live the Olympic Games and other sports events. So Mongolian National Broadcaster, engineers and artistic people, representatives, have been taking part in this parade. The parade, the group of National Broadcaster is led by the General Director, Ms. Ninj Jones, and the National Broadcaster is an important organization for making the country's cultural life to be abundant. The National Broadcaster consists of TV and radio stations. The National Broadcaster programs are reached everywhere in this country, and we provide on timely basis news to our audience, local news and international news. So here you can see the group of National Broadcaster. Since 1967, for more than 50 years, we have been working hard for delivery of the information to the audience on time, especially during Naadam Festival. The role of National Broadcaster was enormous. On the 11th and 12th of July, there is a live broadcasting organized from the stadium and from other places. Next, you can see the group from Mongolian Football Association. In this parade, you can also see the people from arts and culture sector, from sports, athletes, famous sports people have been taking part in this procession. Distinguished audience, distinguished Naadam participants, let us continue enjoying Naadam Festival. Distinguished viewers, distinguished Naadam participants, we have been celebrating the Naadam Festival where we are commemorating the 2227th anniversary of Hunnu Empire, 812th anniversary of Great Mongol Empire, 107 years anniversary of restoration of independence, 97th anniversary of People's Revolution. So, Mongolian national broadcaster, I was delighted to do this live broadcasting from the National Stadium of the opening ceremony of Naadam Festival. Mongolian Naadam is an important part of Mongolia's culture and traditions, and national broadcaster is honored to make the broadcasting from the stadium, from the horse racing and archery stations.
За ямар ч гэсэн нэлээд хөрчдөг юм байна бүр суугаад байсан ч өөр ингэ хөлштэй намхан сандлыг хэлэхээ өөрөө хөлштэй. Эндээ юу яадаг гэж. Анзаарсан зүгээр бас их өндөр болчвол бас юм авчих.
Mongolia's biggest festival. This is Naadam. Archery, horse racing, wrestling. Naadam is an eloquent expression of nomadic culture and celebration of national independence. Stay tuned for Mongolian National Broadcaster's Naadam Festival programming in English on July 11th on MNB 2nd channel.
So, Ramel, we've been talking so much about the Naadam activities and the masculinity of these sports. So I'm curious, in the Philippines, what event is really considered very, very manly and masculine?
I think boxing.
Okay.
Many Filipino fans are really fond of boxing. We have Manny Pacquiao, and how about in the U.S.? What do you have?
Oh, well, you know, in the USA, of course, I would have to say it's American football. Everybody knows the Super Bowl and, and all of the teams that come about from that. But yeah, I would say American football is definitely a sport that boys are pushed into.
Have you ever watched a Mongolian wrestling?
Yes, I actually have. I have gone to the Wrestling Palace and have participated, sort of, in a couple of the spectator events.
Did you like it?
I did actually, and the funny thing was I went with two friends of mine who are from Serbia, and we had been in the country maybe 6 months at that point, and we're sitting there, you know, minding our own business, watching the wrestling, and they just start changing their clothes like right next to us. I'm like, oh, Sanbanu, hello. Yeah, but I think the little shorts and the boots are actually kind of sexy. So, and again, it's that rawness of the culture here. Yeah, and the beauty of that rawness. So, yeah. So,
would you like to go again and watch wrestling?
No, I think I've had my fill, but it was an interesting experience. A very I might take new teachers who arrive in the autumn, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, so Mongolian wrestling is actually really fun. Now let's watch the program prepared by MNB World about Mongolian wrestling.
Mongolians love wrestling, and they're good at it. I mean, really good. It's in their DNA. But everything starts from here, Mongolian traditional wrestling. My name is Stephen Pera, and I've been living in Mongolia for 3 years now. I've always found Mongolian wrestling fascinating. It's a simple sport. You just need to throw your opponent onto the ground. But there's something mythical, mysterious, and powerful about it. Maybe it holds the key to understanding the mindset, values, and power of Mongolians, the people who once built one of the largest empires in the world. Call me old-fashioned, but books are still the best source of knowledge, especially when it comes to the history of something.
As you might have guessed, Mongolian wrestling plays a huge role in both Mongolian culture and tradition. And it also has a big place in Mongolian history and can be traced back even to the times of Genghis Khan. So in order for us to get a better understanding of Mongolian wrestling and its effects on culture, history, and tradition, I think it's important to take a look at what others have to say by looking at a few books and historical documents, like this. So here we are at a bookstore, a perfect place to find information. Got a book in hand. Let's see what else we can find in order to educate ourselves more about Mongolian wrestling. Let's go.
Mongolian wrestling has thousands of years of history. The earliest known findings of Mongolian wrestling, a rock carving in Ultsitsom, Dumgovi province, dates back to the Bronze Age, which means Mongolians have been wrestling for at least 7,000 years.
Би Зэлэнгэ аймгийн Орхон туул сумын яриад алдар спорт орооны бүх Монгол улсын ард улс гэрээдэг байна. Тэгээ одоо үндэсний өхөр хичээлээд 20 гаруй жил болж байна. За багасаа одоо тэр үеийнхээ хүүхд багчуудын нэг адил одоо хөдөө дээлнийхээ сугыг урж одоо хувцсныхаа тавчийг тастаж ноцолдож өсөж бас Монгол бүхэд дурлаж одоо бүх болохыг мөрөөдөж өссөн.
Одоо ингээл олимп дэлхий тэгээд энэ бусад спортод амжилт гаргасан төрлүүдийг харж байгаа дандаа л тулааны төрлүүд байдаг байхгүй юу? Амьдрахын тулд хийж байгаа ажлууд нь одоо мод түлээ чулуу мод юу гэдэг нь өдөр тутмын хийж байгаа ажил нь тэр үндэсний бүхий ерөөсөө бэлтгэл сургууль тэр ахгүй байхгүй.
Not because it's entertaining, but because wrestling provided strength, stamina, and skill training to soldiers. The man who first saw the benefits of wrestling for soldiers is none other than the great Genghis Khan. Wrestling was also used as a way of eliminating political rivals. The secret history of the Mongols recounts one of such incidents, in which Genghis Khan arranged to have his political enemy, Buribok, killed during a wrestling match.
Hello from the beautiful Terrelge National Park, just an hour outside the capital city of UB. Today we're going to be interviewing an up-and-comer wrestler with 20 consecutive wins at only 6 years old. His name is Dawa Batar, and like I mentioned, he is a nomadic herder, part of the 30% of all Mongolians. Now, we're going to find out what the connection between herding and wrestling is today through our interview. So let's go meet him.
My name is Anglo-Atrin Dawa. Завхайгийн тосон цэнгэл төрсөн. Би улсын наадамд барилдаад аврах талтай байхыг хүсдэг. Би гоё санагдаад барилдъя гэж байна.
Being a wrestler, you have to be very, very strong, right? Let me see your muscles. Wow, you're a very strong kid. Only 6 years old, too. That's impressive. So, being a good wrestler takes a lot of practice and work. How do you get good at wrestling? What do you do to prepare to be a good wrestler? So what is your favorite wrestling? How about you show us your clothes and tell us what each part does and what it might mean? So you get the hat, shirt, pants, boots, right? Thank you so much for talking with us and teaching the viewers a little bit about wrestling. I can't wait to see where you are in a few years in terms of wrestling. You're going to be a very, very good wrestler one day. I'm very excited. Thank you so much.
Бөхийн өмсгөл. Монгол үндэсний бөхийн өмсгөлд дөрвөн талд жанжин малгай, зодог шуудаг болон ээтэн хоншоортой монгол гутлоор малгайны дөрвөн тал нь Монголын дөрвөн аймгийг орой дээрх зангидмал сампин нь шав таван газрыг төлөөлөлөн бүтээсэн бөгөөд 1995 оноос дөрвөн талт малгайг улаан залаатай болгож түүн дээр шар өнгийн туузаар тус бүхийн улс аймгийн наадамд гаргасан амжилтыг тэмдэглэж эхэлжээ. Мөн үеэс малгайн дөрвөн талд нь авраг, арслан, заан, начин цулыг илтгэн харуулсан хүчнүүдийн дүрсийг алт болон мөнгөөр сийлэн хийсэн онцлог тэмдэгтэй болгожээ. Зодог шуудгийг зөөлөн торгомс гэдлэлээр эсгэж, мяндсан утсаар ирмэглэн шидэж, шуудагны гуйны хэсгийг зөөлөн сур буюу арьсаар сүлжиж, ханцууны уяаг мяндсан утас хадгаар хийнэ. Өнөөгийн бөхчүүд гол төлөв хөх улаан хоёр өнгийн зодог шуудгийг эрхэмлэн хэрэглэж байна. Ээтэн хоншоортой монгол гутлыг бөхчүүд өнөртнээс өмсөж ирсэн. Барилдах явцад хольхон зуурхаас болгоомжлон гутлын түрий оймс хоёрын завсар хулс буюу уян модоор хавчаар хийж хальтарч гулсах, бэртэл гэмтэл авахаас урьдчилан сэргийлж, улам бат суурьтай болох үүднээс суран хүлэг болтыг хэрэглэнэ. Гутлын түрийнээс дээш гарсан хэсгийг харааг гин. Харааг арьсаар хээ угалц хатхан ойжуурлана.
Years and centuries have passed, and Mongolian men no longer need to be battle-ready and combat prepared all the time, but wrestling remains a national obsession. Instead of military training, it became one of the 3 manly games of the national and a symbol of the strength, courage, intellect, and skill of Mongol men. Today, from Ova worship ceremonies to the anniversary of countries and provinces, no Mongolian festival is without wrestling. In a country of 3 million people, some 30,000 of them are active wrestlers, and they compete against each other in year-round indoor and outdoor special competitions. One of them, Province Arslan Batjargal, has invited me to his home and explained the cultural significance of wrestling.
Монгол үндэсний хөгч нь одоо нэг боломжлолтой ёс жай, цолны ялгаа, насны биш цолны ялгаа, цол ялагдсан ч одоо тэг ялагдлаа хүлээдэг. Яалж ялагдаж сурсан. Дээрээс нь тэгээд цолны ялгаа ирэм дарааг хөндлөдөг. Дээрээс нь нөгөө юутай ёс жудагтай болж хүмүүс Монгол үндэсний бүхөр барилсан хүмүүс. Тийм хүмүүс бол ихэнх нь одоо тэр чанарыг бол өвлж авч явж байгаа. Тэр бүхэнд ингээд багаас нь суулгаад өгч байгаа юм шиг.
Wrestlers have always been treated with respect and dignity in this country, as they are seen as the epitome of real Mongolian men. Honest, humble, kind, brave, and patient.
Спорт тэр дундаа үндэсний спорт бол бас тэр үндэстний соёл, ёс заншил за одоо бас их олон тийм нандин шин чанарыг агуулсан байдаг. За манай үндэсний бүх бол яг одоо тэдний нэгэн адил ах захаа хүндлэх, том цолтой бүхөө хүндлэх. За тэгээд олон одоо эрчүүдийн дунд ороод барилж байгаа учраас их сайхан одоо хүмүүжлийг бий болгодог. Хүнийг одоо их сайхан төлөвшүүлдэг, тогтоо одоо ноён нуруутай, манайхан ярьдаг ч удагтай тий.
Хүн болгон авраг болоод улсын цол аваад үндэсний хөр барилсан хүмүүс болгон тийм явах боломжгүй шүү дээ тийм.
Тэгээ бүхий спорт төр хичээлсэн хүн бол ер нь бие даан шийдвэр гаргах чадвар их сайтай болдог. За одоо ямарваа нэгэн төрлийн одоо юм хариуцуулахад итгэл алдахааргүй.
Тэгэхээр яагаад тэгж юм нэхэр авраг болохгүй ч гэсэн хүн одоо үндэсний бүх спортоор хичээлсэн хүн бол бие хааны хувьд, зан төлөвчлийн хувьд төлөвшдөг байхгүй юу?
За одоо энэ сүүлийн үед хүмүүс энэ фитнес янз бүрийн спортороос хичээлдэг болсон. Манай үндэсний бүх бол биеийн одоо баг 80% нь ил байдаг үзэгчдийнүүдэн дээр. За бас нэлээдгүй тийм ганцаарчлсан төрлийн спорт, эр зөргийн спорт. Ер нь бол нэг хэр баргийн аав ихүү бас барилчхааргүй. Бас нэг өөрийгөө нэг сориод үзье, шавхаад үзье, тэмцээд үзье, ялтанд хүрж үзье гэсэн бас нэг эр зөрөгтэй, итгэл үнэмшилтэй. За тэгээ үндэснийхээ спортод хайртай, дуртай тийм л хүмүүсийн одоо сонгож хичээлдэг. Спорт үнэхээр бас нэг өөрийгөө бас нэг ямар нэгэн төвшөнд сориод үзье гэж байгаа юм бол үндэсний хөх спортоор хичээлэл үзэхэд бол алдахгүй шүү л гэж.
It is said that every Mongolian family wants their baby boy to become a wrestler. Batjargal's family is no exception. Like any other Mongolian father, he wants to see his 2 sons dancing like a falcon on the green field of Naadam one day. But acquiring a rank isn't the most important thing, he says. Raising his children with good manners and strong principles through wrestling is what he's looking for.
Бие бэлдрийн хувьд ингээл хүүхд ингээл хөгжиж штэ. Тэгэхээр ер нь бие бэлдрийн хувьд хөгжил сайтай хүмүүс зан төлөвчнүүд бол арай өөр болдог байхгүй. Тэгэхээр олон нийгэм донд одоо энэ хүүхдүүд чинь бие даагаад амьдрна. Тэгэхээр нийгэм донд өөрийн гэсэн нэг тийм үзэл бодолтой, хүнтэй хайцах чадвар сайтай. Тэгээд нэг өөрийгөө нэг ингээл аваад явах тийм хэмжээний чадвартай болдог төлөвшөлтэй. Тэр нь л үндэсний хүүхдийн гол давуу тал.
here we are at the Mongolian wrestling training camp of Yusuk Irigui. Behind me, as you can see, are Mongolian wrestlers practicing and training for the upcoming Naadam. They spend about a month here from mid-June to mid-July preparing for the competitions of Naadam. So today we're going to learn about the tricks of the trade. So there are about 600 different tricks used in Mongolian wrestling. We have our basic tricks, our double tricks, our combination, as well as our counter tricks. So today we're going to speak with one of the Mongolian wrestlers here training and learn more about the tricks and perhaps be shown a few of his specialties. All right, let's go take a look. Samar. Hello. So let's start. How about you introduce yourself? Thank you so much, by the way, for coming. Okay. So, how long have you been wrestling for? How long have you been practicing and doing this professionally? So could you tell us a little bit about your achievements at the provincial and state Naadam levels in terms of wrestling? So as a Mongolian man, what does it mean for you to be a wrestler? What does it mean in general, too, to be a wrestler in Mongolia? I've heard that there are a lot of connections between the nomadic lifestyle and wrestling. So could you tell me a little bit about how they're connected? In which ways do nomadic lifestyles and the way that you live and work in the countryside, how do they affect your wrestling? Could you take a moment and maybe show me how to do a few of the moves, as well as what we call the eagle dance in the beginning and end of the match?
Гара дэвэ шава. Монгол бөхчүүд эрт дээр үеэс гарид, бүргэд, харцаг, шонхор зэрэг шувуудын шинжийг илтгэн барилдахын өмнө гараа ба дэвэлтийг хийж ирсэн. Бөхчүүд барилдааны талбайд гарахдаа гуйны өвөр талд хоёр, ард нь нэг удаа алгадж гардаг. Энэ нь морь, сур бүх гэсэн 93 наадмын утгыг илэрхийлж буй бөгөөд барилдахын өмнө гуйны өвөр ард талд нэг удаа алгадах нь хоёулаа хүчээ үзье гэсэн утга юм. Бөхчүүд дэвлтийнхээ төгсгөлд нар зүвэргээд хоёр хөл дээрээ хагас сууж, гараа алдлан баруун зүүн тал руугаа цээжээ хагас эргүүлэн өөрийн сурсан шавлтыг хийн. Шавлт нь нисэж ирсэн шувуу буухта далавчаа хөмж байгааг дүрслэн гуйны дотор гадна тус нэгэнтэй алгадан учраа бүхинхөө зүг эргэнэ. Гин цол. Манай эртний 8 дугаар зууны ихэнх үед бүхин цол гуншин үсэж 8 дугаар зууны дунд үеэс одоогийн хэрэглэж байгаа начин, зан, арсан зэрэг аратан амьтны нэрээр цолыг өгдөг байснаа. 2004 оноос 5-ын даваанаас эхлэн даваа бүрд дараах цолыг олгож байна. 5 давсан бүхэд улсын начин цол, 6 давсан бүхэд улсын харцаг цол, 7 давсан бөхөд улсын заан сул, 8 давсан бөхөд улсын гарид зол, 9 давсан бөхөд улсын арслан цол, төрүүлсэн бөхөд улсын авраг цол өгдөг. Улсын болон аймгийн наадамд анх удаа төрүүлсэн бөхөд арслан цол. Арслан цолтой хүн дахин төрүүлвэл авраг цолыг. Авраг цолтон төрүүлвэл далайн авраг, далайн авраг цолтон төрүүлвэл даян авраг. Даян авраг цолтон төрүүлвэл улсын дархан авраг цол олгодог журамтай. Үзүүр түрүү булаацалтахаар гарч ирж байгаа бөхчүүдийн гараанаас гарахад баруун зүүн талын засуулууд араас нь их хүч чадалтай бөхчүүд гарсныг илтгэн ханаран унах хэлбэрээр сөхөрч суун хүндэтгэл үзүүлдэг.
Okay, so that's not as easy as I originally thought it would be, but let's try it again. Ow.
Вообще.
Okay, so I wrestled for probably less than a minute, and I'm already out of breath. Wrestling is certainly much more difficult than it looks, and I can understand why there's so much training involved. And, well, there's so many tricks, a lot of things going on all at once. It is quite a complex sport, and much more than originally meets the eye. So I feel very lucky for getting to take part in this, although I don't think wrestling is in my future.
Mongolians love wrestling. It's part of their national identity, pride, and honor. From military training methods to the national sport and entertainment, wrestling has evolved and been developed throughout history, but has never lost its importance among Mongolians and never will. Its principles, philosophies, and values are closely connected with the traditional nomadic lifestyle, culture, and tradition. It bears the pride and honor of the nation. Maybe that's why Mongolian wrestling is so precious and valuable to Mongolians, a people who are said to be born in the saddle and start to wrestle as soon as they learn to walk.
Монгол улс байвал үндэсний бүх байж тээ. Одоо үндэсний бүх төрлүүд байна шүү дээ. Тэдний одоо мих техник тэгээд барилдааны онцлог эдгээр бүгд үндэсний үг шингэсэн байдаг. Нуус товчон дээр гардаг. Бүрий бүх билгүүтэй гэд тэр одоо цаг үеэс хойш өвлөгдөж өнөөдрийн одоо бидний байгаа энэ цаг хүртэл одоо Монгол бүхийн уламжлал, ёс заншил одоо энэ дэг жаяг сургалт бол үеийн үед одоо хэдэн зуун жил, мянган жилийн турш одоо бид бүхэнд өвлөгдөж ирсэн. Өөр бусад энэ техник технологийн давуу талуудыг бол ашиглах хэрэгтэй. Гэхдээ өөрийн гэсэн одоо тэр эртнээс уламжилж явж байгаа тэр ёс жаяг бусад юм бол алдах гэсэн. Өнөөдөр энэ өв уламжил, ёс заншил, соёлыг дараа ингээд Монгол бүх бас сайхан хөгжиж байна гэж бодож байна.
Like its name, Buk, or durability, Mongolian wrestling has stood the test of time for thousands of years. And I have no doubt that even after another 1,000 years, Mongolians will be wrestling on the green fields of Naadam under the blue sky.
Beauty of nomad. Rich culture. History and tradition. Travel through the time. We are bringing Mongolia to the world. MNB World.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. MNB World is pleased to present films made in Mongolia. Mongolian filmmaking has over 80 years of history, ever since Mongol Kino Studio was established in 1935. Today, we present a fragment of this long history, films considered to be the timeless classics by the Mongolian public. Kart Magna, Tot Magna, and Tsits Magna, written by director Hishik Timit and screenwriter Surunjav Sharov, and directed by Bontar Jamian. The traditional three games of men, wrestling, archery, and horse racing, are the main three sports of the Naadam festival, and each of these films are dedicated to one of these games. Through them, you can see how Mongolians fought for their independence with unity, learn about the extraordinary culture of the nomads, and get a glimpse of the importance of the Naadam festival to the Mongolian people.
The story takes place in the early 1900s, the fine years of the Qing dynasty. The main protagonist, Daletseren, was orphaned at a young age. His struggle for life made him a hardened and strong young man. An elder from his homeland saw great potential in Daletseren and suggests that he try out wrestling.
Wrestling is one of the oldest forms of combat. For thousands of years, each culture has developed their own form of wrestling techniques. In the film Kart Magna, you can learn about the characteristics of traditional Mongolian wrestling. The word Magna means champion or winner, and Kart is a large mythical bird-like humanoid creature. Kart is also a rank in traditional Mongolian wrestling. This rank is given to a wrestler who has won 8 rounds at the National Naadam Festival competition.
Daletseren then sets off for a long journey to become a wrestler. During his travels, Daletseren meets his future mentor, Ocher, nicknamed Ocher the Cunning, a merchant named Rafsal, and a girl named Otval. Ocher looks over Daletseren and decides to train him. With Ocher's help, Daletseren becomes a great wrestler with perfectly balanced skill and strength.
Renowned director Bontar directed these films. Kart Magna was made over the course of 2 years and was shot in Iktamar Som region in Arhanga province. The director chose this location for its beautiful natural landscapes and unusual rock formations, which were an important part of depicting the lifestyles of Mongolian nomads. And now, let us explore the story of this film, Kart Magna.
After winning smaller competitions, Daletseren earns the right to compete in the Danshig Naadam tournament and defeats brothers who are the champions of the king Bogdkhang and queen Dondegdodam. Although the people greatly rejoice this great tournament, Daletseren's future becomes unclear when the nobles are upset by the defeat of the royal champions.
Hishik was inspired to write Kart Magna with Surunjav after watching Western films with similar themes. For 8 years, Hishik polished the script, and finally, with the help of director Bontar Jamian, it was presented to the public on the silver screen in 1984. Ever since, there's been an unwritten Mongolian tradition of watching this film during Naadam Festival. This film was so successful that people demanded 2 more films about the other 2 games of men, archery and horse racing. Today, MNB World presents you with the English translated and subtitled versions of these films, Kart Magna, Thot Magna, and Tits Magna. Please enjoy these classics.